Hey everyone, how's it going? Welcome to the No DQ live recap of Smackdown, Friday Night Smackdown for May the 15th, 2020. We are coming off the Money in the Bank pay-per-view. Shout out to everybody watching this live stream. And if you're watching on demand, thank you as well for checking out the video. Let's go ahead and get started with the recap. We kicked off SmackDown with a recap, of course, of Money in the Bank, the Money in the Bank ladder matches. We had Miz TV with The Miz and John Morrison, former tag champs. Otis quickly interrupted the festivities, did not even give The Miz time to make the introduction. He was so excited about winning Money in the Bank. Otis did a cartwheel. He got in the ring. He sat in the chair, but then the chair started to break, so he figured he would stand up for the segment. Morrison wanted to know, why did Mandy Rose get with Otis? Morrison asked, is Otis that good in the sack? Is he packing a lot of meat in the suitcase? Miz then showed some photos of Otis as a kid, a baby picture. Otis basically insulted during this segment, a lot of fat jokes. Miz said that Otis looks more like Fat Yoda. Morrison asked if Otis is pregnant. Otis was basically blowing them off. He was licking his briefcase. Miz said that Otis is a mama's boy buffoon. And Miz is upset because Otis basically lucked into Money in the Bank with the briefcase falling into his hands and Otis not actually climbing up the ladder to get the contract. Miz then challenged Otis and Tucker to a tag team match against him and Morrison. Otis pointed out that Tucker was not there. Miz then said, get a partner, and you have until the end of the show. No idea what happened to Tucker on this show. I think Otis made some sort of Oregon Trail joke about Tucker not being there. Maybe this is a tease for Tucker turning heel. We'll have to wait and see. Or maybe he's just being left in the dust. You never know. We had a recap of the Baron Corbin, or should I say King Corbin, and Elias feud. It was then announced by Michael Cole that Sami Zayn has in fact been stripped of the Intercontinental Championship, and as a result, there will be a tournament. The first two matches of the tournament were on this show, and then next week there will be two more Caleb Jacobs with a $3.02 super chat, first one of the evening. Thank you, Caleb. Says Morrison needs to be the WWE champion. I don't think that's going to happen. I think that Morrison is going to be an upper card guy, but I think the odds of him being the guy are slim at this point. WWE revealed the brackets for this IC title tournament. Of course, Corbin and Elias was the first match to take place. And then later on the show, we had Daniel Bryan versus Drew Gulak. I'll talk about that here in a few minutes. Next week, we will have two more matches. Sheamus versus Jeff Hardy, finally, that will take place. And then we will have Shinsuke Nakamura versus AJ Styles, who was on Raw. Apparently, AJ is part of this brand-to-brand invitation. Maybe he becomes part of SmackDown if he wins the tournament. Who knows? No Cesaro in this tournament, so much for that idea that I brought up, the idea that maybe Cesaro could win the whole thing. And then when Sami Zayn comes back, Sami takes it personally, and it's Sami Zayn versus Cesaro in a recreation of Razor Ramon versus Shawn Michaels from WrestleMania 10. Ain't gonna happen now. Cesaro did not even get in the tournament. So we had Corbin versus Elias, which was a pretty long match. I did not care about it all that much. Corbin was messing around with Elias's guitar, which got Elias very upset. Back and forth match between these two. Corbin then took the guitar, smashed it into the ring post. Elias had another moment of fury. He hit a knee to the face, followed by an inside cradle to pin King Corbin. Way to build up King Corbin by having him lose here when he's supposed to be facing Drew McIntyre on Monday. Like, Corbin cannot even beat Elias, so what makes me think he has a chance against Drew McIntyre? Just saying. Hamp Connell with a $5 super chat says, Hamp here and it's no shock. I'm here to pay tribute to Wrestle Rock. I'm here to have fun, not to make trouble. Just here to start the super chat rumble. I like it, Hamp. I like it a lot. Thank you for the super chat. And now I will give you a tip of the hat. We had Otis backstage trying to get a partner. He went up to Sheamus. Sheamus was like, not a chance, fella. What a dick. What a dick Sheamus is. Mike Nixon with a $20 super chat. Thank you so much for that, Mike. I appreciate it. He says, Aaron, you're the man. Split this with Caitlyn. Will do. I will do just that. Thank you very much for that, Mike. I really do appreciate it. And thank you guys for your super chats. I'm sure Caitlyn will be very appreciating of that. I don't think she's watching right now. I think she's kicking back in the other room right now. But I will let her know if she's not watching about the super chat. We had Mandy Rose approach Otis and suggested that Otis talk to the Universal Champion, Braun Strowman. Otis did just that. He found Strowman. He referred to him as the Monster Man. Strowman was a little bit skeptical because he was thinking, does Otis really want him as a partner, or is Otis going to double cross him and cash in Money in the Bank? However, Braun said he does respect Otis and he's going to think about it. We had another mystery hacker video with the mystery hacker talking about how he or she hears everyone, sees what everyone is doing, and no one is safe. We had Naomi versus Dana Brooke in a rematch from a couple of weeks ago because it's WWE and we gotta have rematches. At least WWE's moving away from the 50-50 booking. Dana Brooke picked up another victory pretty much out of nowhere against Naomi. 2 wins in a row against Naomi. I guess that's what happens when the Usos are out of action. Naomi is all of a sudden put on the back burner for Dana Brooke. Also, Dana recently signed a new contract, so I guess WWE has to get a return on their investment. Although they did release Mike and Maria Kanellis after they signed new deals, and Anderson and Gallows as well. So doesn't necessarily mean that Dana Brooke has long-term job security, but they're going with a push for Dana finally. We'll see if it works out for her. We had a Becky Lynch video package, which was different clips of her career. Pretty cool. I liked it. I thought it was well done. The video packages are usually spot on. We had Charlotte come out for a promo. Talked about being the hardest working woman in WWE and she crunched the numbers. Fox wants her on SmackDown. Interesting, because when you look at the numbers for NXT, Charlotte's not making a difference. AEW is still beating NXT, despite Charlotte being part of the brand. So I guess because Charlotte is a heel, she can say stuff like that, but makes Fox look like a bunch of idiots. By the way, shout out to Stephen Osborne and NXT team in the chat room. I know you guys still love and support NXT, as do I. Make sure you guys check out their channel. Go to nodq.com/NXT to follow Stefan and the NXT team with their videos. We had Bayley and Sasha Banks come out to confront Charlotte. Bayley brought up how the last time Charlotte was on SmackDown, she beat her. Charlotte was like, well, it took a bad gimmick and a bad haircut to get the job done. Bayley wanted Charlotte to get the hell out of her ring, and Charlotte had a message for Sasha. Charlotte said Sasha is the only reason Bayley's the champion, and Charlotte brought up all of the history between her and Sasha and wanted to know if Sasha was satisfied with being in Bayley's corner, being an afterthought, and wanted to know if Sasha will actually be her own woman instead of being Bayley's lackey. Bayley was very upset with this. She proposed a champion versus champion match, which Charlotte did accept, and that will take place on next week's SmackDown. Cameron Johnson with a $5 super chat says, why must we see Charlotte on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday? Well, because as Charlotte said, she crunches the numbers and everybody wants her on TV. She's the hottest act in WWE. See, what was weird about this is that Charlotte was acting very heelish in her promo. And then when Bayley comes out, Bayley's obviously a heel and Charlotte's all of a sudden acting like a babyface. So to me, that's a bit strange. But I do like the continued dissension between Sasha and Bayley, even though I have to admit, now I'm feeling a little less excited about it because I was really looking forward to a match in Boston in Sasha's hometown as a babyface. That would have been hot, and we're probably not getting that. Hamp Connor with a $5 super chat. Thank you for that, Hamp. He says, I think WWE knows Fox is not going to renew their contract, so they don't care what they say about Fox. Well, keep in mind that the contract is for several more years, and Fox did announce WWE for the fall schedule. Fox is not going to try and pull anything, at least just yet. So for now, everything's okay between WWE and Fox, even though the numbers have been close to record lows. Darren Frazier with a $5 super chat, thank you, Darren, says, I like the segment, but I still don't like how they seem to make Charlotte a tweener. Yeah, I agree on that. It was very bizarre, and next week, I guess Charlotte by default is the babyface, or maybe it's just a heel versus heel match, and maybe it just doesn't matter now because there are no fans. I mean, who knows? But they did announce it for next week's show. We had a Forgotten Sons promo, talked about serving in the military and then being cast out by society. I forgot the rest of what they talked about. We had a Miz and Morrison backstage promo. Morrison tried to cause some dissension, saying that not even Braun Strowman is dumb enough to fall for Otis's plan to cash in Money in the Bank. Psycho Jet Black with a $2 super chat says, my toilet paper is more useful than the Forgotten Sons. Ouch. That might be the savage line of the night. The question is, though, is your toilet paper more useful than EC3? We had Daniel Bryan versus Drew Gulak, or Gulak, however you pronounce his name. And this was a very old school wrestling match. They had a handshake before the match to show the showmanship, the good sportsmanship. Daniel Bryan and Gulak back and forth with the mat wrestling. They put on a clinic. If you love a good old-fashioned mat wrestling contest between two wrestlers, this was your thing, and it was good. But I don't really care about Drew Gulak. I can't even pronounce his name correctly. But it was really good for what it was. So if that's your thing, then definitely check it out. Bryan ended up winning with a heel hook of all moves by submission. And after the match, Bryan cut a promo, which was pretty good. He said that 5 years ago, he had to forfeit the Intercontinental title, never got a chance to win it back, and now he wants to win it and represent the absolute greatest wrestler in WWE, and he feels that that's him. Gulak came up to Bryan. They shook hands again. Gulak needs to do something here. Heel turn or some kind of change, because he just lacks any kind of a personality. And to me, that hurts the enjoyment of the match. As solid as it is, I want to see some characters. Like, Drew Gulak has no character. The most entertaining thing he's done other than be a good wrestler, as far as sports entertainment goes, is when he was Enzo's sidekick. That was the only time I even remotely cared about him. Psycho Jet Black with a $2 super chat says, no, because EC3 has enough poop in his career. Well, there you go. That settles it. We had a Sonya Deville and Dolph Ziggler promo. They will be facing Otis and Mandy Rose in a mixed tag team match next week. Sonya cut a pretty solid promo here talking about how she's going to humiliate Mandy on next week's show, and said that Mandy will eventually be living in a double-wide trailer and she'll never be a winner like Sonya. She's going to be barefoot and pregnant. Otis is going to be hollering around the trailer park. Solid stuff here, like I said. I really enjoyed this promo from Sonya. She continues to nail it. She's doing a great job. And then we had our main event of the evening, tag team action. Miz and John Morrison against Otis and Braun Strowman, who did in fact step up to the plate and become Otis's partner. Highlight of this match was Otis and Strowman doing a double caterpillar. And eventually Strowman got the hot tag, came in, hit the power slam to pin John Morrison. So sorry, Caleb Jacobs. Morrison not being groomed for any future title shot. After the match, Mandy Rose came out to celebrate, but as Strowman was looking over at Mandy, because who wouldn't, Otis kind of made a little lunge towards Strowman. Strowman turned around and caught this, and Otis was like, nah, man, I'm just kidding. Gave him the fist bump, and Mandy got in the ring. Strowman was cool. He laughed it off. Otis and Mandy celebrated. Strowman celebrated with them, and that was SmackDown. Show was fine. Not great or anything, not terrible. Average. Average show in my opinion. I'm going to give it a C. Right down the middle, average SmackDown. What did you guys think of it? Curious to see what you think in the chat room. Hamp Connell says, I give it a D. Raw was way better. Interesting. Luis Ortiz with a C-. D. Ross 2 with a C. Michael Wynn with a C+. Curtis Butler with a B-. W Glass 90 C show at best. And Caleb Jacobs with a D. Maybe he's upset about John Morrison. TW with a C. And Steve-O with a B. Did not think it was that bad. Stephen Osborne with a $5 super chat. Thank you very much for that, Stephen. I appreciate it. And if you guys enjoy Stephen's work, go over to nodq.com/NXT. He's still doing the NXT recaps every week. And he was on the No DQ review this week. If you missed it, check it out. He says, thanks for the NXT URL. Didn't know you had done that. Shout out to Aftermatch Wrestling and the NXT team. P.S. Colin Andrews' dying wishes to have a no DQ URL. Well, Stefan, have you tried going to nodq.com/Colin? Try it and let me know what pops up. I made some custom URLs for people tonight, so it's easy for everybody watching this to follow your favorite no DQ personalities. You want to follow Greg? nodq.com/GregCherryBrand. And for Jeff, nodq.com/talkwrestling. And there's trivia up on nodq.com/trivia. You could play Wrestling Trivia Challenge and watch some classic videos. Contact Jeff Meacham on social media, whether it's Facebook or @_Jeff Meacham on Twitter, nodq.com/Jeff. Contact Jeff if you want to compete against Greg for the Wrestling Trivia title. Oofman Entertainment with a $10 super chat. Thank you, Oofman. I appreciate it very much. He says, did you hear Martha Hart on Chris Jericho's podcast? Should Owen's episode be a two-parter, and who would you like to see be part of that episode? I only read the recap of it. I did not actually listen to the podcast. I'm very much intrigued by the Dark Side of the Ring episode to see what they talk about with Owen. And I'm sure we'll hear from the people that were involved. I would like to hear from Vince, but we all know that's not happening. Probably people that are still working with WWE will not be part of it. It's going to be people that were part of the company back in the day. Maybe Jeff Jarrett. I mean, Jeff Jarrett was very emotional when he had to talk about Owen's death. You know, Mark Henry would be a good person to have part of the interview. I do not know who they have for the interview, by the way. But I am looking forward to it, and it should be a solid conclusion to this season of Dark Side of the Ring, which has been overall very interesting from start to finish with the episodes. And I will be talking about potential episodes for Season 3 on No DQ&A video. So now I got to plug that. Tomorrow night, 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific, No DQ&A video is back again. And then Sunday, also at 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific, another edition of No DQ&A video. 2 of them coming up this weekend. 7 on Saturday and 7 on Sunday. Psycho Jet Black with a $2 super chat says, Doink is more entertaining than Baron Corbin. Heel Doink. Not sure I would say face Doink is more entertaining than Baron Corbin. Doink was great. And Oofman says Aaron Rift overload. Yep, trying to keep the content going. And you know what? We got a lockdown right now. Stay-at-home order. So might as well stay busy, right? Might as well keep pumping out content. People are asking for No DQ&A video to come back, and it is back. So tell a friend. Let's get those view counts up. I need your guys' help. Word of mouth really goes a long way. So I'm counting on you guys to actively go on social media and spread the word. Tell your friends that watch wrestling. Share it on any wrestling page, forum, message board, comments section, anywhere you can think of. Let people know about No DQ&A video. Hamp Kano with a $2 super chat. Thank you again, Hamp. Says, what did you think of WCW Mayhem on Nintendo 64? Crap. Was not a very good game. Really, the only good WCW games, in my opinion, from any console were WCW versus NWO World Tour and WCW NWO Revenge. Those games were great. Everything else I thought was borderline awful, and maybe Backstage Assault was, well, no, that one was bad too. I really did not like any of them, to be perfectly honest with you, other than the two THQ games. So anyways, that's all I got for tonight. Thank you all so much for watching and continuing to support. I really do appreciate it. Stay tuned for the two No DQ&A videos coming up tomorrow, 7 o'clock Eastern, and then Sunday, 7 o'clock Eastern. And then Monday, I'll be back to recap Raw. Take care, everybody. Stay safe and stay positive.